morning, everyone, and once again, welcome to Mornings with Marilyn. I'm going to read a story to you out of the book of Luke. It's Luke chapter 5, beginning in verse 12. Luke chapter 5, beginning in verse 12. Jesus was in a certain city, and behold, a man who was full of leprosy. He saw Jesus, and he fell on his face, and he implored him. That word implored means he is begging Jesus, saying, Lord, if you are willing, you can make me clean. This man it's an urgency for this man to be healed, because in those days leprosy was incurable. It's a horrible disease. It's like having a death sentence. It's very painful. It's very destructive. I have seen people with leprosy. I saw one man, because your limbs fall off, his nose had fallen off. I've seen people with blisters all over their face. I've seen people with fingers had fallen off. I saw a teenage girl, her first toe had already fallen off, and she was about 16 years old. It's a horrible disease. I've been on the outskirts of Nairobi, and on the outskirts you will see lepers sitting along the side of the road, and they are begging for food. Maybe some of them were wanting money, but you had to be isolated, so I don't know if they could even go and buy money. But they were begging, and they usually have some kind of a towel or a scarf or something covering their face, because it's a horrible disease. They look horrible. Blisters, limbs falling off, ears falling off, a nose falling off. These people are so hopeless and in so much despair. But this man, he knew that Jesus could heal, but he didn't know if he was willing. And he said, Lord, if you are willing, you can make me clean. And Jesus said to him, I am willing. I am willing. And Jesus reached out his hand and he touched this leper, and he was made whole. I can remember one time I was preaching in Switzerland, and I had done a week-long seminar on healing. And the last day, a man came up to me, and he was recovering, not completely healed, but he was recovering from leprosy. And he wanted to thank me so much for the encouragement on healing. And he said to me, and he was an older man, and he said to me, would it be okay if I just gave you a hug? I just so appreciate the message you gave this week. And I said, sure. And he said, well, I'm recovering from leprosy. I said, I understand. He said, are you willing that I can hug you? And I said, yes. And so he gave me a hug, and then afterwards he said, well, thank you. And he said, you'll always be able to say, you hugged a leper. And I said, I'm willing, and I'm always willing, and I'm pleased to give you an encouragement in the word and to give you a hug. But many people today, believers, they know and they believe in healing, but they don't really believe that Jesus would heal them. They don't really believe that the word would work for them. If that's you and you need healing in your body, the Lord is willing. Not only is he willing, he has already purchased every sickness, every disease known to mankind. He bore our sicknesses and he carried our diseases. Jesus, who knew no sin, was made sin. Jesus, who knew no sickness or disease, he was made sickness. He took on the sins and the sicknesses and the disease of the entire human race at the cross. He is willing for you to receive healing. It's already a done deal. You just have to release your faith, because see, faith begins where the will of God is known. This man with leprosy, he didn't know the will of God. He knew God was able, and you know God is able, but do you know he is willing to heal you? You have to know that. So faith begins where the will of God is known. I would encourage you, if you have any doubts, get into the Word of God. Read those healing stories, read the healing scriptures, and then read how much God so loves you. He wants you healed. He needs you healed so that you can help fulfill the Great Commission. Don't ever think the Lord doesn't want you healed. He does, and he's already purchased it for you. But it begins on the inside of you, because faith is of the heart. So you have to begin to see yourself healed. Just like you see yourself saved, you know you're saved, well, you have to know that you're healed. So I pray this is an encouragement to you today. God bless you, and know that God is a good God. Know that the word will work for you. So God bless you today. Bye for now.